it really makes sense for most of you. So what I'm going to talk is how I switched over from biotechnology to what I'm doing right now, which is software development. Before that, I'm quite tense now. It's been so long since I gave my last presentation, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So I'm a bit nervous right now. But things happened yesterday, like we had a new pet dog come home, and it was keeping us busy all night, so I didn't have much time to do the preparation. So hopefully you will understand that during this presentation. Okay, getting back. So I finished my MSc Biotechnology in 2001, and from 2007 onwards, I started developing software. So let's see how this journey went on. So how did this happen? So basically, this is what I am. I like to tinker. Now, tinker in the sense that there is no one machine at home which wouldn't have got my treatment. Whether it is the TV or remote or the V-balance board or anything of that sort, I would just give it a go. I would see what is inside that. And if something broke at some point in time, I will try to fix it. So I don't have any idea about electronics or anything, but I still will try and fix things. So I'm just curious. So, and I like to learn all the time, keep learning all the time. Now, fast forwarding many years, that was my MSc thesis. Standardization and assay of DNA polymerase activity. I think it's complicated, we'll start with that. So that's my MSc thesis. Now, the real problem came at this stage. Now, I liked biotechnology, I liked biology all my life. I liked it very much. Even now, I have a good understanding of many of the core concepts. But then, something happened at this time, like I wasn't liking the fact that if you do any experiments, I mean, if you are in biology here, you will know very well how long it takes when you start doing an experiment and you get the results. Sometimes it can take days or weeks. So that was bothering me a lot, and I was really getting impatient. And another thing, I was working with radioactivity and things. I have to wear gloves all the time. Okay, so I started feeling that it was not a match for what I really wanted to do or like to do further in life. So, in 2001, that was when I finished my master's, the last year of my master's degree. So I was introduced to computers at that time. And what happened was I went on to create my first website at that time. And that was a very interesting experience. It was a very good learning experience creating my own website. Like I started learning HTML and started creating, manipulating images and things like that. So that was the first step in 2001. And then this was the major reason why I am here and talking to you about this particular topic. So Linux. And a friend of mine, Yatish Kumar, he was so kind to send me free Linux CDs by post to my home. So what happened was that I gave it a go. I tried, what is this Linux? Basically, I wanted to know, because I was taking a small course, a 4-month course in Unix, C and C++. And in fact, that was the only programming course I ever took in my life. I didn't take any other programming classes till now. So, to learn Unix, I needed some way to try it out. So Linux was the easiest way to do it. So I tried and installed Linux, and this was very exciting to me at that point. That I got these 3 CDs full of software. It was all like Office software, graphics, and you name what. It was all there. Like I don't need to go find different kinds of software or download pirated versions of software to do something. So all software was free. So I just liked it. First, for that reason, it was free. But later on, I came to know more and more about open source. Is any of you here familiar with open source? You have an idea. You know about open source. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I'll explain it with a very simple analogy. Say, do you like biryani? Is there anybody who doesn't like it? Okay. Let's say you make a version of Hyderabadi chicken biryani. Sorry, vegetarians. Hyderabadi chicken biryani. Okay. Now, you came up with your own version. What would you do? Will you keep it with yourself? Or would you tell your friends or relatives? Or post it online? Post it on Facebook? Post a photo on Facebook? Will you do any of this? Yes or no? No?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So how is this connected to open source in any way? Like, if I make a piece of software, okay, I can keep it with myself, or I can give it away. Now, if I give it away for free, somebody else can take that and make it even better. Okay, somebody can take your Hyderabadi chicken biryani and maybe grind the coriander and mint into a paste, make the biryani even better. And they can share it with others, right? So that is the concept of open source. You give away your software, let others make more changes to it, and thereby the software improves. Okay, so I like that concept very much, and I started building my own things. And this was the first thing I ever built, which was, but I was selfish enough to name it vLinux with my own initials in the front. If I'm doing it today, I wouldn't do this. I would keep some other name, some other sensible name. But this went on to become very, very well known at that time. Even it was commented in Nature and all that. It got good reviews by articles in Nature at that point. This is basically Linux with some bioinformatics software installed. Now I won't go into the details of what bioinformatics is and all that. So it is specialized for that particular purpose. And I still remember me and my wife Leka, who is here, we sat in an internet center in Coimbatore uploading this from the morning. We spent the whole day uploading this one particular software. It was only about 500 MB or so, and it took 12 hours or so to upload at that time. So that was I still remember that. So the next thing, I started learning to program. Basically, anybody who uses computers today in science will need to know a little bit of programming. It will definitely make your life a lot simpler. So I started with Perl. These are different programming languages. So I went on with Python, and then to PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Now HTML, CSS, JavaScript is the technology that runs the web. So any website today will have HTML, CSS, or JavaScript behind it. So if you want to learn how to build websites, you need to know some of these at least. So then this happened. We came here to Cork in 2007, and we are here for most of the time. I joined here in a research group at the UCC. So I started building more things. So this is a software which I built for use in the research group. So I won't go into the details of the software, but basically what it does is to show an easy way to manipulate data stored in databases. Okay? And more building things. I just won't say, you can ask, like I won't sit idle, I just keep doing something or the other. I can't simply sit idle. When I'm with my computer, I start, doing things like this. So the science format is my recent project. What it does is, most of you here would be in science and would be publishing journals or, journal articles at some point. What science format does, simply put, it is like Google Docs, but with citation support. So you can create documents and insert citations of various journal articles and download it in different formats. And so then it becomes easy for you to submit your paper to two different journals. So that was the core concept, and I built the whole thing. And building more things, I also gave this a go. And when Android came, I think it was while I was here in 2007 or so, sometime around that time, I wanted to learn how to build Android apps. So these were the result of that experiments. Okay, so that completes, that's where I stand right now. So those were the different things I've built during this time. And I'm always looking for new things, like what can I do next? What can I do? I want to do something really useful. So I'm just thinking right now. So this talk is not going to be all about me. I've written it in my short summary, which I've posted. It's not about me. I also wanted it to be useful to you. So I wanted to recommend some software which you can use in your day-to-day work. Now, these software are all free and open source and are available for Linux, Windows, and also in some cases Mac. So let's see what they are. Now, how many of you here use Linux? 1, 2. Okay, use Linux as your primary or only OS.
No, not the only OS.
Not the only OS.
Yeah.
Okay, you do well boot between operating systems. You use it as your only OS.
The most electronic device is Linux.
Okay. Okay.
This guy also uses Linux. It's not this.
Okay. So I only see three people. So do we have only three members in the audience who use Linux? Okay, let's see. How many of you have Android phones? Android phones. If you own a Samsung Galaxy or Motorola Droid or anything, that's an Android phone. So I believe most of you would have an Android phone. So Android is Linux. It has Linux underneath. You can open up a terminal on Android and run Linux commands on Android if you wish. You can program on Android if you wish. So Android is Linux, but this one, Linux for your desktop. So this is what I'm recommending. You give it a try. You give it a go. I know you are pretty happy with your Windows machines and your Windows problems, your virus problems, and I mean you're happy with it. But I would just ask you to just give it a go if you have the time. So Ubuntu is a very good example of something easy for the beginner. And here is a thing, help from me. If you need any sort of help, you can ask me to install. I'll help you with that. Okay, this is the second recommendation, Firefox for your web browsing. Any Firefox users here? Oh, many. Nice. Okay. Google Chrome is also good. I don't have anything against Chrome, but I recommend Firefox. Firefox is a completely open source browser. Google Chrome is made by Google, which is a company. But it's a nice browser. There's nothing wrong with it. LibreOffice for your documents and spreadsheets. So you would often have to do with, you have to work with documents like docx, XLS formats. So LibreOffice is a free version which you can use if you can't afford Microsoft licenses, Microsoft Office licenses. I know here in UCC you will get it for free, but when you go outside UCC and you want Microsoft Office, you will have to purchase it for a license. So you can try LibreOffice for that.
May I interrupt you?
Yeah, sure.
How do you compare OpenOffice with LibreOffice?
OpenOffice, what
Because in
really,
that we can save the documents as MS Word also and
yeah,
that format also. So,
yeah.
so how do you compare these two?
LibreOffice was based off of OpenOffice. So it started from OpenOffice and it changed into what it is today. And LibreOffice can also work with Word documents. You can import Doc or DocX, and it can also do XLS, XLSX. So, and it's much more frequently updated. So what happened? There was some kind of confusion when I think it was Oracle who purchased OpenOffice, and so the community didn't like it, so they changed. They created their own version called as LibreOffice. It's really good. I mean, I'm using it often, though not. I don't do much with doc files or anything of that sort. But for simple document or spreadsheets, it's very good. So the next recommendation is Zotero. Any of you here know about Zotero? Some of you use it. Most of you would be using EndNote, right? Okay, or Reference Manager. Zotero is a very good bibliography or reference manager. It has add-ons for Microsoft Office, Firefox, Chrome, and it's also available as a standalone version. What this basically, you can insert it into your reports, scientific reports or thesis preparation or whatever it is, and you can use it for that, and it's free. And GIMP and the Inkscape for image editing and illustration. So I did most of my images in this presentation, and also every time I need to edit an image or create any sort of graphics, I use one of these depending on what I'm doing. So either the GIMP or the Inkscape. Now these are similar to what Photoshop and Illustrator will do on Windows. Now Photoshop and Illustrator are not available on Linux, so these come by default, so I've started using them. But they are also available on Windows and you can use them. And Wix. Wix is very good. I don't know if you've heard about this one. The UCC does, I've seen posts in UCC about using LaTeX. Wix is a front end to LaTeX. And if you're in physics, chemistry, or mathematics, LaTeX is very good in doing equations and formulas, and you can export your document in PDF. So you just give it a go. I don't have the need to use it much, but it's really good at creating scientific reports and things like that. And finally, Blender for video editing. So if I need to do any sort of video editing, I don't know if you account for the Diwali event. The first video you saw was I did something, I did that for the first mini video which they showed in the beginning. So I use Blender for that. So I'll show this with what Blender can do. So that's a short trailer. Now this movie trailer is made in Blender. So you can see the capability of the software, and this whole software is free. So if you are willing to spend time, you can create things like this. And it's available online. It's a very cool, it's a very short movie, about 10 minutes, but it's very nice, very cool. So, yeah, that's all. You can watch it online. Okay, I will leave you with this last point. Okay, I've made all these recommendations. You might try some of these, and then you can come back saying, no, this Microsoft Word does this, but what software you said doesn't do this. So what I'm trying to say is, like, no software is perfect. Software is built by human beings like me, so it will obviously have mistakes, and sometimes it wouldn't work as you would want. But that is the case with all software, so it's not specific for one group of software. But the core point I want to give today is that for you to try new things, like to be willing to try or experiment with new things and new software in this case. Okay, and I would like to give my thanks. And thank you all for coming on this cold Friday evening to attend this talk. And you can follow me and my updates on my website. You can learn more about what I'm doing and, on my website and blog at vkvn.com. And I also would like to thank my wife. She was telling me, like, this whole talk happened because of what the discussion we had some time back ago. Like I came for a couple of talks here, and I was telling about the points, minor points. They could have done this, or this wasn't right, and so on. Then immediately she said, "You talk so much. Why don't you just go give a talk?" So that's why I'm here today. So I should thank my wife Lekha, who's in the audience, and who is now aspiring to go to Mars and thereby leave me. And I also like to thank everybody else here, and also these are my pets, our pets back home, and we have a new one come yesterday. So thank you.